मेरे हिसाब से पॉइंट नंबर 4 होना चाहिए, क्योंकि बीइंग अ पीएम मेरे हिसाब से पॉइंट नंबर 4 होना चाहिए,
मेरे हिसाब से
क्योंकि
पॉइंट
बीइंग अ
नंबर 4 होना
पीएम
चाहिए,
गलती हुई है
क्योंकि बीइंग अ पीएम
हमसे, राइट। अगर हम एस्केलेट करेंगे तो हम ही फंस जाएंगे, और अगर हमने टाइमली रिक्वायरमेंट्स नहीं ली तो वो बाद
मेरे
में
हिसाब से
क्रिटिकल
पॉइंट
बन
नंबर
जाएगा।
4 होना चाहिए, मेरे हिसाब से
क्योंकि
पॉइंट
आस्किंग
नंबर 4 होना
रिक्वायरमेंट्स
चाहिए।
बाय ईमेल
गलती हुई
वो
है
जब ही देगा
बीइंग
जब
अ
आपकी
पीएम
कोई रिलेशनशिप स्टैब्लिश होगी। तो पहला जो मरहला होगा कि जो एक स्टेक होल्डर आइडेंटिफाई आपको हुआ है, वो वो उसके करें, स्टैब्लिश करें। अभी सिर्फ चेक करना है, बाद में डिस्कस करना है, या अभी
तो
डिस्कस भी करना है साथ साथ?
अगर देखें कमर को
हाँ,
कोई,
एंड पे।
अगर कमर आपसे एग्री कर रहे हैं ना, सो
हम्म,
इट मीन्स कि वो पास ऑन कर देंगे, कोई डिबेट नहीं होगी।
हाँ,
ओके
रिव्यू एंड पे करेंगे, अभी क्विकली प्रोसीड करते हैं।
ओके, डन हो गया। XYZ Electronics is developing a smartphone model. The product development team has gathered a list of 10 features they are considering to include in the phone. They want to use the Kano analysis to understand how features will impact customer satisfaction, prioritize their implementation accordingly. As a product manager at XYZ Electronics, you want to apply Kano analysis to assess the customer preferences for the proposed feature. Which of the following feature would be classified as a basic threshold feature in the Kano model? Pehla point, of fingerprint sensor for secure and convenient unlock of the phone. A long-lasting battery that provides up to 2 days of continuous usage in a single charge. A single and lightweight design that makes the phone easy to carry and handle. A high-resolution camera with advanced photography and image stabilization. कानू मॉडल बेसिकली वो होता है ना, बोली था कि कैन डू, आप क्या कहते हैं कौन सा होगा?
वन मॉडल ये होता है ना कि यूज द फ्रेमवर्क फॉर द प्रोडक्ट टीम लुकिंग फॉर सिस्टमेटिक अप्रोच टू फीचर प्रायोरिटाइजेशन। ये मैंने जस्ट गूगल किया।
कैन डन, कैन
तो
डन एग्जाम में उसका स्टैंड फॉर क्या था, मैं भूल रहा हूँ। कानू मॉडल का स्टैंड क्या लग रहा था?
यस कमर।
you are a project manager of a NHQ project company. This project is to create a new condo building in your city and is scheduled to last for 10 months. Your project team has just decomposed all project deliverable for the construction project. What is the document that decomposition creates? Organizational breakdown structure, work breakdown structure, bill of material, resource breakdown structure. I think this is WBS, work breakdown structure. Mindy is a Scrum Master for Project L, which is in its fifth iteration and has a velocity of 97 points. After the last sprint review, a stakeholder let her know that one information seems outdated. What should Mindy do? Ask team member to refer stakeholder to weekly report, invite stakeholder to daily stand-up, don't do nothing, information radiator, or by definitions are accurate. I think this is the first option. We should go with that because definitely information radiator is also important. Like it cannot be done daily. We cannot invite the stakeholder in daily stand-up, weekly report. Also, we can refer, but definitely there is a purpose of information radiator as well. So that should also be correct. So we should investigate that one, I believe. Eric is a Scrum Master for a project, a software project, and it's performing sprint planning for next sprint with the product owner queries. Eric has identified an epic in the product backlog that has several very valuable features, but is too large to include in the sprint because the story point associated with the epic are greater than team's velocity. Kois wants to include the epic in next sprint. What would be the best activity to perform next? Business value assessment, task decomposition, incremental development, rolling wave planning. So currently they are planning for the next sprint. They have identified an epic in the product backlog that has several variable features, but it is too large. Okay. I think what I can say, but this can be a task decomposition, but it's not a task decomposition as well. But business value assessment, we can say.
Okay. So if you have
But yeah,
if you have a bigger task, okay, that is that you cannot accommodate in one, let's say, sprint, or maybe so it has multiple features. So it is as equivalent as you have a big deliverable in the traditional projects.
okay.
So what you do with the deliverable in a traditional environment, that you decompose it. You decompose it into various work packages, right? Similarly, for the epic, you will decompose it into stories, user stories, okay, which will be of smaller size. So just like you do here, you decompose it into work packages, okay, multiple work packages. Maybe you decompose it into 2-3 work packages, okay, and then each work package you will have further activities or tasks associated with it, okay. So you may have activities here, okay, activity, and here in the story, for each story, then you may have tasks. You decompose it into various tasks, task 1, task 2, okay. So then you may have you may assign like so in this way you can do it. So epic would be bigger, but you can decompose it into multiple stories, and then you develop each story further. So that would be your decomposition can work in this way, that you decompose an epic into stories and then further into tasks, like the way you decompose a deliverable into work packages and then into the activities. I think now it should be clear for you, right?
Yeah, so then it will be the task decomposition.
True.
Yeah.
Why not incremental development?
Actually, this is also not for the contract because they did not mention like the delivery they need separately or something like
So
that.
if you recall,
This is just a sprint.
yeah, but if you recall, let's remember that what we said about, let's say, incremental, if you have a feature, okay, you deliver this A feature in one sprint, then you have a B feature. You deliver B feature in the second sprint, but what you do, you add what you delivered in the previous sprint. So if you say sprint 1, this was a sprint 1, A delivered. Sprint 2, you added B and on top of A. And then sprint 3, you added what? In A plus B, you delivered C. So let's say your epic was having 3 features, A plus B plus C. The way she is saying, Eric has identified an epic in the product backlog that has several valuable features, but it is too large to be included in a sprint because the story points associated with the epic are greater than the team velocity. So if you consider A plus B plus C, maybe story points would be maybe 96 for all these 3 features. So what you can do to split it into, 3 sprints, okay? So in fact, you deliver like maybe 20, let's divide it by 3, 96 by 3, how much it will be? 32, right? 32, 32, and 32. So what will happen in this way? So if your team velocity, let's say, was 40, right? So you cannot all the way include an epic of size 96 in the sprint 1, right?
Okay.
So what you did, your team velocity was set 40, let's say, and so you could not. So you split this full epic into 3 sprints, and then you said, okay, since my team velocity is 40, so I can easily accommodate feature A, okay, that is of story points, let's say 32, and I can deliver it in sprint 1. Then in sprint 2, I will deliver this feature, which will be additional 30. I will be having my own velocity, right? My capacity also I need to look at. So I will deliver 32 additional, and we will integrate and deliver this one together on top of it. So this is what we are incrementing, right? So this is how we are incrementing. So I think this is the better option, because again, remember what we did last, that epic, we said epic can be decomposed into stories, and then stories can be decomposed into tasks. So the only problem that I have with that option was that it should be this way. Epic cannot be decomposed directly into tasks. Okay. You got my point, right? So
Understood.
So epic can be decomposed into stories and then into tasks, right? So this is my point of view. So I think we should take incremental approach. What do you think? Or if you want, we will go by your answer. And
ultimately it task, because see, the incremental is the completion of epic. Incremental will go with completion of epic itself. But here, epic has more feature, okay, and it's too large. So it's more relevant to task decomposition. If we will complete epic itself, then maybe, okay, this is incremental. One full feature.
I would agree. I would agree with the word decomposition here, because in fact, when we split it into many sprints, what we did, we decomposed it. Right? We took the feature by feature approach, because it had 3 features, let's say. So we decomposed it into 3 features which will be delivered separately in each sprint, right? So this is what we do. We split it into feature wise into 3 sprints. So we did actually break one large piece of epic into small 3 pieces, of each feature, right? So that is decomposition itself. Okay, let's go by this, and then we'll review.
Okay. You are a project manager of a customer relationship management. You are a project manager of a customer relationship management program that will involve people from all parts of your organization. Your organization team, your project team will include a representative of people from all parts of the company. Functional manager need to know when their work will be released from your project. Which of the following is the subsidiary project plan that document this information? Resource management plan, staffing management plan, WBS, cost control. I think this is staffing management plan.
Yes, sure.
You are a project manager of large international project. Your project team will be traveling to 4 different countries to complete the project. You have required project team to complete training regarding custom, laws, and language for each country they will be traveling to. What theory proposes that an understanding of the culture, local language, and colloquialism enable people to have a better understanding of the country they are working in? A Swire-Wolf hypothesis, ethnocentrism, culture shock, utility function. I think something that looks strange. So the Swire-Wolf hypothesis.
So it is, your team will be traveling to 4 different countries to complete the work. So you have required the team to complete training regarding the custom, law, and language for each country they will be traveling to. So what theory proposes that understanding of culture, language, and colloquialism enables people to have better understanding of the country they are working in. Yeah, cannot be cultural shock. It cannot
be utility function.
Yeah, cannot be. Yeah. So the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis means that each people who have different languages they speak, so they look at the word differently. So people from Arabic Pennsylvania, like people who belong to Arabic countries, or they speak Arabic language, they will look at the word differently than people who are English speaking. And same goes for Chinese. Okay, so language has a lot of weightage, and your perspective, it makes your perspective. So yeah, once you understand the languages, then it helps you to look at the word from that perspective. Yeah, it will help you. Let's look at this. Okay. Read.
Oscar is a Scrum Master for Project X, which is in its fifth iteration. Recently, several members of his team were sent specialized training camp to improve their skills. How can Oscar best determine if their training was successful? By checking the exam score, by asking them how training went, by tracking their performance improved, by asking their manager. So I think they can only determine the training was successful by tracking how their performance improves.
Yeah.
Although exam scores are there, but definitely if they are not able to understand they are not able to improve the performance.
Yeah. This goes
So
with
that
people
means
who take PMP training and then also they appear in the exam, they pass the exam. But once they do their job, they forget everything. They don't
yes,
follow those processes, principles, values, then it is of no use, right? Yeah. let's
exactly. The project manager has a team member. Yeah. The project manager has a project team member whose work is consistently not aligned with the quality metrics as required by the customer. This discrepancy results in rework and wasted time. So what should project manager do? Adjust quality, implement corrective action, discipline the team member, and update the quality management plan. I think implement the corrective action.
That's a repeat question.
You are a project manager for in a week matrix. You have recently completed project schedule. You must now get project schedule approved so the resources can be officially assigned to their project work. Which one is the following stakeholder will need to approve the project schedule? That is only the functional manager.
Yeah.
So Heath is a Scrum Master for Project O, which is in its 9th iteration and to deployment, is on budget and has a velocity of 93 points. Heath is preparing for the meeting with the stakeholder who prefer to speak a lot frequently to detriment the other discussions. What should Heath do to prepare? Remove the stakeholder from the meeting. I wish. Ask the team member to interrupt the stakeholder frequently. Review the agenda and have the plan, keeping the stakeholder on the task. Change the meeting time. I think the C option is more professional.
Yeah.
Because first we cannot remove stakeholders. We cannot even change the meeting time. And
you cannot also disturb him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donald is a Scrum Master for Project A, which is in its 9th iteration and has a velocity of 92 story points. It is 1 week behind schedule. Recently, new stakeholder joined the project who is unfamiliar with Agile practices. What should Donald do? Send stakeholder link for Agile, invite stakeholder on daily, ask the product owner to speak with the stakeholder, meet with the stakeholder and walk them through the basics. Oh, what he should do now, because actually the new project stakeholder joined and he is a little bit unfamiliar.
Yeah.
So it's not the duty for the manager to train him, but at least to understand it, maybe he can do the walkthrough of the process.
Yeah. But the thing is, you are right. The answer is right. But you need to also train the stakeholders. By the way, as a PM, it's your what I would say, it's your responsibility somehow to educate and train customer also, the stakeholders, all stakeholders. It's not your team members. It's also that you will influence the customer and the stakeholders as well. Yeah. So this is how you will be more beneficial.
Okay. And the Agile development team working application is nearing end of the first sprint cycle. Before the demo with the customer, team wants to ensure that developed stories are verified so that each work precisely how the customer expected is to work. Which of the following can help the team to accomplish this? Exploratory test, unit test, acceptance test, and scripted test. I think that can be done through unit testing as well.
Okay. Unit testing means that something you are developing. Okay. So you will not write the code first, but you will write a test first, and then you will write a code that will pass the test.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is here the situation is the team want to ensure that the developed stories are verified. So it means that you already developed and then you want to verify so that everything works precisely how the customer expected it to work. So which criteria, which acceptance criteria you will compare it with. right?
So that then it will be scripted test then, whatever we agreed and written. Acceptance is also there. Huh?
What about acceptance test?
Yeah, ultimately that's meant the activity they will feature, they will accept it, because as the deliverable, once how it will be, that will be completed once the stakeholder are accepting it. So with this point of view, like they are going to accept it, so acceptance test is more relevant. But initially we are here before the game, we are sitting, before the meeting, we are sitting. At least whatever we agreed and wrote down, so that can be scripted test.
No, it is done. Development is done. Look, read the question again before the demo to the customer. The team wants to ensure that the developed stories are verified so that each works precisely how the customer wanted.
Oh. Understood. Then we will go with the acceptance then.
Okay. Now, the scripted test is what? Scripted test is something which you already have defined in your like test cases were written. Okay. So you scripted it that okay, this functionality is supposed to once it is tested should supposed to give this result. Okay. So you have this script ready. So you can actually have an automation around it. So you can feed it into the automated testing, and then all the features will be tested in by the automation tool, right? So it means that you already scripted it. So whatever is getting tested, it's line by line following one test execution plan.
Understood.
Yeah. So it could be that you have written for all these functionalities under testing, you have written some test cases, which is predefined test cases, and you are testing. Acceptance test. What would be the acceptance test in this case? Acceptance test would be, in my understanding, acceptance. My understanding is in the user story that I've written, I have my own acceptance criteria defined. So if you want me to make sure that this is precisely how customer wanted, then I should go back to the story and then look into the acceptance criteria. And for each story, I need to make sure that it fulfills the acceptance criteria for that particular story, right? The software fulfills the story requirement, right?
Right.
But exploratory testing is something which is innovative. Like it gives you as a tester some flexibility which is not there in the scripted test. So scripted test, you can give it to anybody. Okay, this is the test case, check this software. And he will compare line by line what is the test, and he will compare software fulfills the test or not. However, the exploratory test is like exploration. So you are free, you are flexible, you can be innovative in testing. You can think about testing in your own way, right? So it's not an exploratory test, and it's not a unit test. It could be acceptance test or it could be scripted test, right? But now we need to choose between acceptance test and scripted test. So what do you think? Then we'll okay.
Then apparently the acceptance test is better. We should go with acceptance test.
Yeah. So acceptance test is basically what compares customer requirements with the software. What was the requirement and specification of a customer? Did we met these in the software? Met, finish.
Right.
But your understanding should be clear now, right?
Right. Understood. Patricia is the Scrum Master for project in its 12 iteration with the velocity of 36 story points. The project manager approaches Patricia and asks why another risk management meeting is on their calendar. What Patricia most likely respond? Agile projects are inherently risky, and so more meeting is necessary. Project team is